Just over a year ago, St John's contacted Praxis to look for ways to develop a wildlife garden in the area. It wasn't very promising initially because the piece of ground they had identified was builder's rubble covered with a thin layer of clay. So what we did was to create 4 habitats within that by raising beds and creating specific habitats that were native to Scotland.
The board behind us shows the 4 habitats in the garden.
We have woodland, heathland, meadow and marshland. We chose these habitats for different plants, animals, insects to go in them.
Initially the children were already working in the wildlife garden, but we decided that it would be beneficial for the children and their learning to deepen their knowledge of the garden by introducing an outdoor classroom for them so that they could study and research the various habitats and the inhabitants within it. I have to say that they have worked very, very hard over the last year with Sam, Scott, the staff, members of the staff and the community, and this exhibition here today really shows the fruits of their labour.
When we looked at the makeup of the school, we decided that certain classes were more suited to certain tasks. So, for example, primary 6 and 7 did an awful lot of the hard work. They created the willow fence, they dug a lot, did a lot of weeding, built a lot of edging around the particular habitats.
Well, my favourite bit is planting the plants itself and using the spades and the shovels to actually get the plants, and even digging out some of the other bad weeds and stuff, so really exciting.
Primary 1, 2 and 3 weren't really capable of doing that sort of thing, so we had them doing the technical photography. That sounds a bit strange, but they were given a considerable amount of technical advice and they chose which things to take a photograph of, more or less directed each shot as it came.
The photography was one of the key parts of the overall project. The photography allowed the children from primary 1 to 3 to explore some of the flora and fauna in their wildlife garden in greater detail. We used professional macro photographic equipment, which enabled us to record what the children found after exploring the garden themselves, and then to view it at greater detail.
When we were working in the project, we looked at taking photographs about loads of the bugs and the bugs' eggs and some birds. And there was one bird that came in that I took a picture of, and it's the blackbird that's landed on the compost bin. Everything was child-led. The whole purpose of them going out in the garden was for them to find things that they hadn't found before, things that they found interesting or just nice to look at. And then they chose to take photographs of whatever they found. My role was basically to facilitate the photographing of the thing that they found.
So through the wildlife garden and the experiences the children had, they also were involved in lots of artistic work, finding out about the plants and studying them through their sketches and paintings and getting to know more about the species within the wildlife garden.
These were some of the flowers that were in the garden. There's some like daisies, buttercups and lilies in here. And we done that because we were doing art as well. That was one of our topics as well, and we were doing flowers, so started doing art of flowers.
The primary 4 and 5 did a number of things, the major one being how to take water from the gazebo roof to the marshland, and they designed this remarkable feature which will ensure that the marshland stays wet over the summer period.
We had to design a water feature so that we could reuse the rainwater for marshland, and we all had to sketch out a picture that would be able to use the rainwater to come into the marshland, and it would help the wee birds and bugs to get their water.
All of the children in the school have been involved in this project. The good thing about it is every child has shared their knowledge that they have gained with each other. They have also gained confidence in speaking with others, working with others, and in the knowledge that they have gained throughout the whole project. They have, I would say, they've covered the 4 capacities of Curriculum for Excellence through this project.
There was a great buzz around the class when they were working on things, and there was also a lot of helping with one another, a lot of praising one another. They're always very much kind of looking at one another, oh, look at, that's a great picture that you've done, and come and look at mine.
My favourite bit was when we got a thistle from the wood pile and we shook it, and there was loads of bugs came out of the thistle that were living in it.
One of the things that all the children found fascinating was just the sheer biodiversity in a small 50 square metre area of their school playground. I don't think any of the children believed that there was so many different plant types there, and certainly the number of insects that we found. So that was a key to them as well, and I think that opened their eyes to realise just exactly what they have on their doorstep, not only in the school playground, but they could superimpose that in their own back garden and indeed anywhere.
Well, I found snails and worms in my own garden, and I counted how many I got, and in the winter I didn't get any, but in the summer I got about 15.
We find that children who have a better understanding of how the environment and these habitats work will have a much better attitude to the environment in general and looking after the environment. They see it as a crucial issue. That again was part of the education sessions which they took part in. So hopefully these children will grow up knowing that the environment needs to be looked after and not something they have to be told later in life.
We came to the launch last Friday for the exhibition. Thoroughly enjoyed it, brought my mother with me, thought it was fantastic. I think it's very important for the children to learn about wildlife. I know certainly my husband and I spend quite a bit of time with them regarding it, but the fact that the school has done it and brought it in, they have become much more aware of the environment round about them, not only with wildlife and animals, but they're also very keen in this school on eco-friendly. They're talking about it, really enjoying it out in the garden, asking to go out and see, feeding the birds when the snow was here, all this kind of thing. So it's been very valuable.
Well, I feel more interested in all the gardening at home, and like even when I'm at the park and stuff, I just like to see all the flowers and all the different trees and stuff like that.
It's important that the kids feel that this is their garden, this is their space, they can continue to develop it. That was part of the teaching programme that we undertook. They would be able to see this as open-ended, and they could continue to develop it into the future. And as children move on from here to high school, they'll be able to maybe revisit, as a couple of the pupils have done, have a look at how it's developed, how it's evolved, if you like, to match the requirements of the school.
The end product of this wildlife garden project really isn't an end, it's really a beginning. It's a beginning to take the children of today and the children of the future into their natural environment, where they can research and study what's happening in the world around us as we move on in the 21st century.